Hi, I'm Dr. Millie Dierix, and today I'm going to introduce how this is going to work, the framework. The framework is very simple. I'm going to have one topic every video with some exercises that we're going to do at the same time, something practical, and some sort of homework that you can do at home. I will try to do the homeworks a lot of fun, so you really get into this. And the topics are going to be arranged in the levels of consciousness, because this is what I'm working on right now, and I think this scaffolding is very useful in order to put everything in order. I like my things in order, so we're going to do it like that. So for me, I think we have, or I divided levels of consciousness into four. The first level of consciousness is the one we're going to spend most time in because it's the one we're in right now. I call it the ego consciousness. It's this consciousness that's talking to you right now, the one you're listening to me with, the one that I'm conscious that I'm this person in this body with this history. And this is the level of consciousness that has sustained all the trauma and that lives in anxiety and is fearful and is fearing the changes. So this is the one that's really getting the brunt of the situation, let's say. So we have to really heal this one in order to be able to go higher. Because if this one is not strong and sufficiently healed, it's very difficult for us to go into different levels. So I think that's basically what happens, that we have all these beautiful spiritual teachers that teach us all these great methods of going higher, but we're unable to because we have still a lot of things to heal in this first level. So it's like a stair, and if there's one staircase missing, we're going to trip on that one all the time. And basically what this level encompasses is our physical body, our health, the way we are physically, the way we eat, the way we exercise, everything that has to do with the body and its needs. It also has to do with our emotions, especially our basic emotions, our instinctual emotions, the ones that are part of the kit of being human, fear and anger and basic love and connection with other people, and all these kinds of emotions that deal with me, with who I am, with the relationship with my family, with my people, with the people around me, and the trouble I have with them too. And also the brain, the conscious mind that's right here, right now. So this conscious mind is the one that goes into mental labyrinths, which we'll go into later. But anyways, that's a second level of consciousness. Now we're going to the second level of consciousness, which is the heart consciousness. That's the one that we're being sort of pushed into right now with all this crisis and everything. That's my theory, that crises always ask for change in us, for evolution of some sort. That's why I'm proposing that the next step in human evolution is consciousness. This shift in consciousness from the ego consciousness, the I, me, mine, into the empathic consciousness or the heart consciousness, which is us, we, everything, we're all together. So that's the second level, and we're going to first heal the first and then go into the second one. That's where we need to be if we're going to survive these crises that we're living through. And then there's another two levels of consciousness, which are much higher, of course. There's the spiritual, the one I call it the spiritual level of consciousness, which is when we realize that we are not only connected to each other, but really one, that we are all connected. And this level of consciousness has to do with everything that we have found, quantum physics has even come up with terms for it, like the quantum field or non-locality. And it's this field that we have always intuited that it's there and that spiritual teachers always talk about. And that's where most of their spiritual teachings are based. For example, love your neighbor like you love yourself. Why? Because your neighbor is yourself. You're one with him. And we're all connected here. And everything I do to me and everything I do to you, I do to the one. I do to all of us. So that's the third level of consciousness, the one consciousness. But there's one even beyond that one. This is what many religions call heaven or nirvana or out of the karmic wheel, and that's the source consciousness. Very few people in this planet have actually reached that source consciousness that I can think of. I can think only of the Buddha and the Christ. And this is the level of consciousness when we realize that not only are we connected, not only are we one, but we are actually the source. We, in our higher self, are part of this source. We are the source. And that level, of course, is the highest one. When we arrive there, we are enlightened beings. So very few people actually get there, and it's more of a personal journey, I think. We are going to go into a little bit of those experiences and some things that may work to get there, but let's leave the fourth one for really spiritual people. Right now we're going to concentrate in healing the first level of consciousness, this level of consciousness in which I am this person with this history in this body. And we're going to go and shift into the second level of consciousness, which is the we consciousness, the heart consciousness. So that's sort of the framework, and I'm going to try to bring everything, all of my knowledge, exercises from every single one of the methods I use, because they're all so useful, and I'll tell you which methods they are if you want to seek people that do them. They're always great to have, and let's do this. Thank you.